All right, afternoon, everybody. You can leave the lights on. I don't have a PowerPoint. It'd be better to see everybody anyway. Now I know I'm standing in between y'all and lunch, so I'm gonna be brief. I'm gonna be happy to answer any questions. But yes, my name is Adam Howell, and I am the director of outreach with New York FarmNet. Also with me is Charlie Mosier. He's an intern and an ag student working with us. Charlie will be around for part of the day while we're here, and feel free to talk with him or myself as well after we're done. But real quick, how many folks here are from New York? I just want to get an idea. All right, good amount. I know this is a wide-ranging conference. How many of y'all have heard of FarmNet? Oh, good. All right, we've got several. So for those of you who don't, what I'm going to talk to you about today is our program. It has a unique place in New York agriculture, and we have a unique model that we use to serve farmers throughout New York State. So New York FarmNet is a 100% free, and I want to underscore that it is 100% free, 100% confidential consultation support for any farmer of any type in New York State. Now, what that means by consultation support is what we do is a farmer can contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have an 800 line, and they can come to us with a problem. They can come to us with a question, challenge, an opportunity, or a time of change. It runs the gamut. And we will start a case, oftentimes much like a medical service will or anything of the nature, and we will deploy 2 consultants that will go to their farm. This is not something that is chiefly done online. We understand that the best outcomes come when it comes to meeting people in person at their place of business, and they will sit down with the farmer and they will go over anything and everything to help guide them through whatever challenge they're having. Now, that challenge can come in the form of mental health. It can come in the form of communication, stress management, substance abuse, conflict between the family, which oftentimes we know that farms are family run, or it can come in the form of financial issues. It can come in the form of business planning. It can come in the form of succession planning, cash flow analysis, marketing opportunities, grants, loan applications. And the thing that we have found in New York State when it comes to working as a part of this program and this unique model is that the financial side and the mental health side work together, because we know that the problems and the stresses that come from farming exist on both sides, and they create a circular sort of issue that needs a holistic response. So oftentimes if there is a mental health challenge going on at the farm, it's going to affect the business, it's going to affect the operations, it's going to affect the finances. Similarly, financial well-being is key to the mental health of anybody, including farmers, and we know that farmers have some of the most difficult financial circumstances year to year of anybody in any industry. Now, why do we do what we do? Well, in 1986, many of you may be aware, or some of you may not be aware, there was a huge farm crisis. It was essentially a credit bubble that descended upon the agricultural sector. And there were 2 things that were happening. Foreclosures and bankruptcies went through the roof, and sadly, suicides went through the roof. And during this time, at the Cornell College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, there was a decision to be made to operate a sort of a triage, or not triage, but a quick help line where we could deploy the experts inherent to the university at Cornell to help any farmer at any time to arrest some of these poor outcomes that were happening in the 1980s. What happened over time is this grew into the program we have today. We are now supported by the state of New York, so the Office of Mental Health and the Department of Ag and Markets fund us, and we are still based out of Cornell. So we have 6 full-time staff, myself included, and we have about anywhere between 40 to 50 consultants at any given time. They are located throughout the state. So our consultants, whenever a farmer needs our help, it will be somebody usually from their local area. Our consultants are made up of 2 sides, as I already mentioned. Mental health, which is made up of social workers who have master's degrees and are licensed, and then the farm finance side. So the farm financial professionals are usually former financiers working for the ag banks, oftentimes CCE educators. Many of them are former or current farmers themselves. And what they do is they almost always go out in teams. And then as a team, they help the farmers develop the plans, develop the solutions, or consider the opportunities to help whatever situation they may be dealing with. At any given time or any given year, we have around 350 to 380 cases that are new coming in. And we have about 800 or so ongoing cases that stick with us over time. We will work with farmers for years, decades even, if that is what it takes to help get them on the right track. We have clients who have been with us for many years. Again, it's free. We have clients that have come back with us, many generations even, who have come back to FarmNet because they know that they can get the support they need on any type of issue when they are a client of ours. So it will oftentimes be people who have inherited the farm from their parents and grandparents who are also FarmNet clients. Again, we do some other activities throughout the state because we understand that the mental health, well-being, and the capability of the farming and agricultural system itself to be healthy is just as important as the individual work we do. So we do a lot of educational presentations like Talk Saves Lives, which is a suicide awareness and prevention presentation that we do for farms, that we do for agricultural institutions, and we also do for students. We do financial management presentations, best practices for taxes, tax awareness. We do a stress management workshop for milk inspectors. Believe it or not, as most of you know, New York is a heavily dairy state, and the milk inspectors, people may not realize, they are the ones that go out and have the unfortunate responsibility of, if there are violations, they will have to shut off the milk. That is not something that they want to do. That is not an outcome that they love. And it causes a significant amount of stress, potential conflict, and even depression. And we have started doing stress management presentations for milk inspectors that have been widely received. We do mental health training and counseling for agribusiness. All of this is geared towards elevating the health and well-being of the agricultural sector. Recent studies show that farmers, in comparison to all the other industrial sectors, are 2 to 3 times more likely to die by suicide than others. It is a sad outcome. It is one that has been trending in the wrong direction, and it is part of the reason we exist. We also know that in New York State, in the 1950s, there were over 105,000 farmers. Today, there are less than 35,000. I think we're down to getting close to near 30,000. So keeping farms active, keeping farms working, helping with transition plans or succession plans that either move it into another generation of farming or at least keep the farm functioning as a farm. We work on things like easements and other types of agricultural trusts that make sure that farms that are run by many generations, where unfortunately there may not be somebody within the family ready to take over, they will at least stay farms. And again, we work with any commodity. This is why we're here today. It doesn't matter whether it's shellfish growers on Long Island. It doesn't matter whether it's maple. It doesn't matter whether it's big dairy. I have personally even talked with a farmer who raised worms in their apartment in Brooklyn. They called us because they wanted to get out of the apartment in Brooklyn, which is understandable. They wanted to know, how do I find some land? How do I not be a weird person in my apartment raising worms from kitchen scraps in the neighborhood? We will work with anyone. Agritourism is also a big thing. Diversification, finding new ways to generate revenue streams from the same property, doing new things. These are the types of things we work on, but we really run the gamut. And if we don't have the experience, we will draw on the expertise available to us at Cornell or through the state to find the experience. So if it's a very detailed scientific problem, we do not employ scientists, but there are organizations at Cornell like Pro Dairy. They're the ones that can help you learn how to organize the protein content of feed, things like that. We will also work with places like the Integrated Pest Management Program at Cornell, other resources throughout the state to find and tether together those resources to develop. Again, the theme is always a holistic plan. So there is so much more that goes along with our program, but I am not going to stand in your way before lunch. But I will be available after lunch or around the time. Charlie also has some information, some literature for us. You can find out more information about our program at nyfarmnet.org. That's our website. We have a newsletter. We have lots of different resources, and we are always happy to talk to people, whether they're in New York or outside of New York, because the model is what we like to promote, and the model works. We have worked with people from the UK, from the Dakotas, from many other states, because combining the two types of expertise is something that provides the lasting capabilities and the lasting strategies for farmers that work. and we want to share that model as much as possible. So again, I wanted to be quick. I hope I accomplished that. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you having me, and I'd love to chat with any of you or take any questions. Heard a question somewhere. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Do you know of any other states that have adopted this comprehensive model, and do you have basically guidelines for other states to develop this comprehensive?
Could you repeat the question?
Sure, yeah, and I'll repeat the question. Are there any other states that have adopted this type of model, whether we know of them, and have we developed any guidelines for assisting with other states who might want to? And that's an excellent question. We have not come across, there are lots of states, whether it's through extension systems or state programs that have health and mental health support, that have financial consultation support. Many of them are free, many of them are not. We have not come across anybody that has the comprehensive integrated model for the entire commodity system of a state anywhere else or in any other country. Now, in terms of how we're helping develop that, we started in 1986, and we've been kind of going full bore since then. So we've just now brought on more staff, and we've just now started to think about how do we explain how this works to others. So right now we have a few researchers working with us, one Fulbright scholar in the UK and a couple within Cornell, who are looking at how we can dive into decades worth of data to see how a system might be applied in other places. And the second thing is we are bringing in people from other states. Not bringing in, we have been approached by people from other states who are interested in learning about our program. And hopefully within the next few years, an action plan or a system, or maybe even something at the federal level might come out of that to where we can apply this system to other states. But as of right now, I do not have knowledge personally of any other program like ours that's as comprehensive and holistic, and I don't have a ready-to-go action plan. It's something we're just now starting, but we recognize the need, and I think it's a great point to bring up and a great question, so thank you.
Amazing, not been adopted in 40 years' time.
Pieces. There's always pieces in other places, and it's great that the challenges are recognized, but putting all those pieces together, yeah, it is surprising that hasn't been done in other states yet.
One more question.
Absolutely. Oh, I thought you were the one, Patricia. Yes.
Where does the funding for this come from?
All right, so he asked, where does the funding for this come from? Originally, it was Cornell, and then we had to solicit supplemental appropriations from the state legislature. Now, we are nestled nicely actually within the governor's budget, and we have specific grants that come from the Department of Ag and Markets within New York State and the Department of Mental Health. We also have some corporate sponsors in the form of the ag lenders like Farm Credit East that provide financial support for training. And we are allowed to take private donations. So some ag interests out there support us with some corporate donations, but the lion's share comes from the state. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it.